Let's do this. It's 9 to 3. It's Friday night. That means, well, you know what it means because you're here. If this is your first time at Dino 101, welcome. Sincerely, welcome. Thank you guys for coming. If this is not your first time at Dino 101, welcome back, you nerdy weirdos. Tonight, you guys, well, this week we got a new president, so it's time that we appoint a cabinet of dinosaurs. So that is what we're going to be doing tonight. We're going to go through 5 different cabinet positions. We have a very special guest who I'll intro in a second to help us go through those positions. And then your votes will determine which dinosaurs are awarded those positions. Also, I just want to say, we're going to talk about the unique and perfect butthole. I promise. If you were on Science Twitter, the unique and perfect dinosaur fossil butthole was all the talk. We are going to get there. I promise we're going to talk about the unique and perfect butthole. And thank you to the 1,000 of you who forwarded me the information about it. Now, I can't do this alone. So frankly, the woman who is the dinosaur wind beneath my wings is also here, per usual, Kristina Gustovich. Hey, how's it going?
Hey, wow, I've been teaching 12-year-olds how America works all week.
Where'd she go? Did she just disappear as I tried to say hi to her?
And you pinned me for maybe just yourself. I don't know. Hey, I was saying I've been talking to 12-year-olds about how America works all week. So I'm so excited to be in here with grownups and some wine and some talk about buttholes. And yes, Jada, I am coming out of my cave and I am doing just fine. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Welcome back to Dino 101. In case it's your first time, don't worry, we'll be nice. It's as interactive as you want it to be. We will go through some dinosaur cabinet positions and send us your questions in the chat. We'll have some games and polls along the way. If you don't want us to see your face while that's happening, you can turn off your video. We are recording tonight, but we love to see your face, especially when there's a game and we want your opinion. All right, those are the less fun rules. How about some drinking rules? Yeah? Yeah. So this is about dinos, but it is for grown-ups. So have your grown-up beverage ready to sip when you hear the word bird. So if you hear about birds, because birds are dinos, you'll take a drink. If you hear any of us, including your friends in the chat, make a dad joke, a groany, punny, oh, come on kind of joke, you'll take a sip. Finally, because of our special guest expert tonight, if you hear the word queen or queens, you will take a sip.
Absolutely. Oh my God. I think we're going to pace ourselves tonight. We're going to get there. I hope you guys are going to pace yourselves as well. But I need to know who you guys are. We always do attendance at the beginning of any class. So that's our first poll of the day. You guys, we need to know how many times have you been to Dino 101, using your keypads. Vote now. If you don't know what a dick neck is, you'll find out in the chat very, very shortly.
Yeah, we'll have a vocabulary review. Let's see.
All right, so we have a few newbies. About 11 people, newbies. All right. This is a good smattering. It's always like a bell curve, almost.
Mm-hmm. Just a little baby Bambi.
All right.
5 times 6, 10.
About half of you guys have been here for life. We appreciate the support, obviously. Dick Neck Squad forever. If you've been here, you know there's always a dino of the day. Before I introduce our special guest bird of the day, who is a returning champion, by the way, we have to intro our dino of the day. Ladies and gentlemen, our dinosaur of the day is the one, the only Triceratops. Why? Well, 3 horns, 3 branches of government, duh. Also, this is one of the favorite dinosaurs of our special guest bird tonight, who, again, I'll intro in a minute. This is lots of foreplay and build up for our special guest bird. Oh, wait a minute. I almost forgot. Like, we always say this on Dino 101, without something for scale, it's just bad science. So I thought today, just to really, really use this and then never see it ever again, all of our scale for this week will obviously be in Bernie's, obviously. So this is it. This is your Triceratops. And I just need you guys to render, should you choose to, with pen, paper, watercolors, digitally, your version of Triceratops somewhere in DC. It can be at inauguration, it can be near the White House, it can be on the mall, wherever you want. Triceratops somewhere in DC. At the end of our time together, we'll go around the Zoom room. Those of you who have chosen to draw Triceratops, we'll hold those up. We'll share them out. Kristina, did you have something to say? You look like there's something on the tip of your tongue. No?
You know, just I came into the Zoom room and Dustin's like, I did too much with the PowerPoint.
I did.
I went above and beyond this time, and I'm pleased so far.
Good, 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 good. All right, enough chitter chatter. We got to get the star of the show onto the screen. Ladies and gentlemen, he's a very good friend of mine. He's the deputy leader of the New York City Council and the chair of the Cultural Affairs Committee that oversees all the museums and cultural institutions in the city of New York. He is also going to be the next Queens Borough President, but currently he is the second coolest Leo in Sunnyside, New York. Ladies and gentlemen, Jimmy Van Bramer. What is going on, Jimmy? What are you drinking? How are you?
I am drinking some Hefeweizen, Weinstefan, and you did just say Queens. So is that not part of the drinking situation tonight?
It is.
You know what? Holding people accountable is a very important part of governance right now. So thank you for saying that.
Exactly. And I just want to say, speaking on behalf of all Queens at the borough, the people, tonight is RuPaul's Drag Race. And I do believe Dustin is borderline homophobic to have a program up against the last half hour of RuPaul Drag Race, first night of elimination, but I will not hold that against you. I also just want to say, as one of the first openly queer elected officials ever in the borough of Queens, I love Triceratops, and you can read into that however you might like. I also look forward to the butthole discussion because I am all about all-purpose orifice. Did someone just call me a dad in the chat? Oh my god. So I will get over that, but I just want to say it's great to be here. I look forward to the discussion all around, and am excited to be with you again.
Jimmy, you are my favorite returning champion, but because you're a returning champion, you know we have to put you through the ringer and play everyone's favorite game, Dino or Not a Dino. Here's how this is going to work. I have a list of 10 different animals, some of which are real actual dinosaurs, some of which we have totally made up. Your job is to simply discern the real from the fake. Now, the chat may or may not be helpful in giving you hints. I also want to mention there is a theme for the not dinosaurs. And if you can figure that out, as well as win the regular game, I will definitely think about voting for you. If you need a spelling or a repronunciation at any point, let me know. Here we go. Jimmy, are you ready to play?
Yes, I am watching the gallery view, and I'm looking forward to everyone helping me out with this because I am an elected official, but not a dinosaur expert. I'm just going to let you know.
I will let you know, Jimmy, that today's round was written in part by my mom. Here we go. Animal number 1, concavinator.
Concavinator? Is that a dinosaur or not? Clearly not.
That's the question.
Clearly not.
Not a dinosaur. Actually, it is a dinosaur, Jimmy. That is a theropod meat eater from Spain. You're 0 for 1. Rough start, but that's okay. You don't win every election. Number 2.
This is off the record. I've won the last 3 for the record. I just want to let you know that.
It's a streak. That's
yeah.
On fire. Okay, here we go. Fire. Next. Promaspethicus. Promaspethicus.
All right, I'm going to look at a different view because the first person who helped me out fucked me up. So,
Promaspethicus.
No, not getting a lot of help here. I don't really see a lot of definitive situations. I'm going to say no again. No again.
That is correct. That is not a dinosaur. You're now 1 for 1. Next, Europelta. Europelta.
A Europelta? I'm going to say yes.
That is true. Europelta is an armored ankylosaur from Spain. You're now 2 and 1. Number 4, Basadiops. Basadiops. You can have a spelling at any point for any of these, just FYI.
I don't think that's necessary. I'm purely guessing and looking at the chat and other people. I'm going to say no.
That is correct. That is not a dinosaur. You're now
Bayside is in Queens. Bayside is in Queens, and they can vote for me on June 22nd. Whoever, just put that in the chat. Yes.
Okay. Juratyrant. Juratyrant.
Yes, there's an emphatic yes from Paul. So I'm saying yes for Paul right there.
That is correct. That is a carnivore from England. You're now 4-1, Jimmy. Halfway there. Next, Jamaicopterus. Jamaicopterus.
Sounds bad, and yeah, that's a no. That's a no.
That is also incorrect. Jimmy, you are crushing the game. You're 5-1 right now. Next.
Well, the team, right? There's no I in team. This is a situation. Thank you all.
It takes a dinosaur village. Next, Ovarosaurus.
Ovarosaurus. It just was someone looked like they were doing push-ups. I think it's a no, right?
Is that your answer? I'm asking you. You got to.
What do we think? Am I right? I'm looking at the gallery. I think I'm right. This is a no, right? Or yes? We think it's a yes?
I need a final
answer. Looking at you, Megan. Megan is saying yes. Don't worry. Yes. Also, Nicole. All right. I'm changing my answer. It's a yes.
That is
it's on me, though, if I'm wrong.
That is correct. Way to take responsibility at the end of the day.
You know, it's really accountability is important in politics and government right now. So is truth. So is truth. We're back to that now. It's a new thing. Next,
LIC-tonics. Is that a dinosaur?
Please, someone say no. It's clearly no, right? Yeah, it's a no. It's a no.
That is no. That is not a dinosaur. Maybe you're getting a hint as to the theme of the not dinosaurs. You right now. You are 7-1 in the home stretch. Next, and if you want a spelling, I can spell it for you. Coronosaurus.
How do you spell that?
Coronosaurus.
Coronosaurus?
Coronosaurus.
I'm thinking it's a no, but no.
That, Jimmy.
What's that? No, I'm checking in.
Look at the chat.
Yeah, no, I am looking at it. It feels like a lot of yes, and then Kristina is a no. So I'm not sure if she's throwing me for a loop. You know, in politics, you have to watch the people closest to you. So I'm like not sure. I'm gonna go yes-ish.
Yes, it is a dinosaur. That's why I said it was spelled Corono, not Corona.
Right. Okay, but I want to be honest. I'm only half listening to you.
That's fair. Last but not least, you've already won the game. To get to get 9 out of 10, Proto-LaGuardiOps.
That is clearly, although I love all of the Queens locales, that was Queens, so everyone has to drink again, right? Totally. You said this is being recorded because I really am an elected official and I really am running for borough-wide office. I just want to make that very clear. And I have dropped a few F-bombs around and actually said the word tops, but could you repeat the question? Because I was also drinking during RuPaul's Drag Race. So
you won the game. The game is over. You won. You got 9 out of 10. Congratulations. All right. So, Jimmy, let's get into it. We have a lot of dinosaur positions to assign. I want to first just let everyone know how and why I know you. So I used to work at the American Museum of Natural History in a program called the Movable Museum, and we had 4 40-foot-long Winnebagos. They've been converted into movable museums, 2 on dinosaurs, 1 on astronomy, 1 on anthropology, and we would drive these behemoths. And I mean, I had to get a Class B driver's license. The 5 boroughs, the schools and libraries, and oftentimes elected officials would come out and hang out with the kids and hang out with the truck, take some photos. But it was usually just like a photo op situation, but not Jimmy. He was there for over an hour, hung out in the truck, came in the classroom, talked to us, talked to the kiddos. And when we met and during that day, we realized, oh, you're actually my representative in Queens where I live. And we've been friends ever since, which is pretty awesome. So Jimmy, as quickly as possible, can you tell people what your job is now and why you're running for Queens Borough President?
Sure. So I'm one of the city council members in New York City. There are 51 of us. We each represent just shy of 200,000 people. And we pass the laws for the city of New York. We vote on the budget of the city of New York, which is over $90 billion. And we represent our constituents and fight for them every single day. So That's what I've done for the last 11 plus years. And now I'm running for Queens Borough President, which is to represent the entire borough of Queens, which is over 2.5 million people.
That was a good elevator pitch. Did you practice that? Have we been? That was good.
I've said it a few times.
All right, Jimmy, you ready to do this?
Yes, let's do it.
I have a confession. I have a quick confession to make before we get into the poll. So like, we talked about making this our like dinosaur inauguration episode, but I thought it was dinosaur inauguration, like an auger, like a drill. So Kristina and I were just really curious to know. Yeah. Sorry.
We need to know.
We need to know, of the following, which is your favorite type of drilling? Is it A, boring giant tunnels to make the subway? B, creating a tube/hole for ice fishing? C, tapping maple trees to extract the syrup? Or D, a winky face? That felt weird even doing.
I think you should have felt weird about this whole situation, but I will just say boring giant tunnels to make the subway.
Okay. I'm glad you can't vote because you're one of the guestperts or the host, but I'm glad that you told everyone your vote. It's important for us to know where you stand.
Wait, is everyone voting on that or just me?
Yes, there's right now. We have about,
it's a poll for the people. Mm-hmm. I'm personally disappointed not to see this is not a drill on here. That is my favorite type of drill. But of the options available, the tree, that's very nice. I've never done it, but it seems like a nice fall activity. Winter, I don't know when this happens.
So, okay, I'm going to share the results, and then I need to let you know one more thing, which is such a prelude. Let's see. It looks as though maple syrup barely lost to winky face, which I guess makes sense. These are our final poll results. Jimmy, do you think this shook out the way you'd have predicted?
I would say there are fewer gay men in this room than I would have thought.
Okay. I also want to give another shout out to Kristina, who I tried so hard to figure out how to word this for it to make sense, but she wanted to call this poll is not a drill. Which type of drill is this poll not? And it just, I tried so hard. So, all right. That's all right. All right, Jimmy, let's do this. We have some cabinet positions. So first and foremost, we only have time to do a few. So we picked 5 that we thought were A, important, and B, dinosaurs could fill pretty well. My sister's in the chat promoting my book. Sasha, what are you doing? So first and foremost, Jimmy, we know that Biden has nominated Antony Blinken, Secretary of State. What does the Secretary of State do? What kind of qualifications do you need to do that job?
Senior diplomat for the United States of America, representing the president, meeting with world leaders worldwide, and is the one responsible for interfacing with world leaders and managing relationships with all of our ambassadors. So incredibly important. And this man served in some deputy positions under the previous Democratic administration.
So this is America's spokesperson. Basically, they're out in the world representing America.
Yes.
Right, this is a really important position. So our 3 dinosaur candidates, and remember, guys, for each of these, there's going to be 3 dinosaur candidates. I'm going to show you each 3 in the chat. Please let us know who you are supporting and why. This is how democracy works. We need to hear your voices, and then we're going to vote on each. So our 3 candidates for dinosaur Secretary of State are Jimmy's fave, Triceratops. I feel like an iconic American dinosaur, beloved by many. So that's candidate number 1. Obviously, we got to have a long neck boy in there. We got Brontosaurus, outside of T-Rex, arguably the most famous dinosaur. I should mention all of our candidates tonight until the last round are all American, good old red-blooded American dinosaurs who hold these American dinosaur cabinet positions. And last but not least, America's dinosaur, T-Rex. Any one of these, I think, would be a really great spokesperson representing the United States across the world. Jimmy, as I load up the poll to let people vote, do you want to endorse one of these candidates?
Well, it's tough. It's a tough call. But I think I'm always going to go with T-Rex.
Okay, interesting. All right, Kristina, how you voting before I open the vote?
Oh, I think I would have to go with T-Rex as well. I think it would be a good Secretary of State because it would leave enemies in a state of fear.
That's a good dad joke. We'll drink to that while people vote for Secretary of State. Triceratops, Brontosaurus, or T-Rex. Ooh, oh, wow. I did not see, right now we got Brontosaurus in a slight lead. T-Rex is in 3rd place currently. Wow, I did not see this coming.
I do love a Bronto. I see why this is pulling ahead. A peaceful individual. I see people in the chat talking about its long reach, so they can kind of look out. It can see Russia from its house, for example.
We have 90%, wow, 90% voter turnout. Love that. And it wasn't even that close. It looks as though Brontosaurus will be representing the United States abroad as our new dinosaur Secretary of State. I like that.
All right.
Yeah. All right, so we're going from Secretary of State to a very important position, an historic appointment. Jimmy, can you tell, oh, that's a poll, I don't need to do that. Can you tell us a little bit about Secretary of Interior and who Deb Haaland is?
Well, Deb Haaland is currently a member of Congress, one of the first 2 Native American members of the House of Representatives. And as Secretary of the Interior, she's going to have oversight of America's publicly owned lands and publicly owned parks, the National Park Service. And of course, that has great significance for Native Americans in this country, as well as, I would add, folks in Puerto Rico who love El Yunque. So incredibly important position.
Hell yeah. All right, and we have 3 very worthy candidates. First, we have a Hadrosaurus. So Hadrosaurus was the first dinosaur that was ever put on display, specimen mounted in a museum in the United States. Way back, it was like 68, somewhere around there, at the National Academy of Natural Sciences in Philadelphia. It was the first time a museum ever mounted a dinosaur, and it was the first time a museum charged admission to get one in the door. Because really, we're talking about just not Secretary of the Interior. We're talking about the Secretary of Interior design. And anyone who's going to have their mind on putting a T-Rex, I'm sorry, a Hadrosaur in a museum, that's a good design for me. The first one ever. Number 2, this is not a dinosaur. This is a marine reptile. It's a ELASMOSAURUS. When we first found this, they put the head in the wrong end. So they designed this one poorly. But at the time, there was a giant sea that cut North America in half. So this thing was definitely right in the middle of the country. I wonder, is Bernie doing all right? Is he doing all right down there?
Bernie is wearing a snorkel, but in that situation, he might need scuba gear. I don't know if that snorkel is going to help him.
And last but not least, ORYCTODROMEUS. If we're talking about interior design, these dinosaurs, we think, dug their own burrows and designed the interior of the earth around them to their own liking. A smaller, late contender to be Secretary of the Interior. Pretty tiny guy. Jimmy, what do you think? ORYCTODROMEUS, ELASMOSAURUS, or HADROSAURUS?
I'm going to go with HADROSAURUS.
Okay, all right. I'm curious to know in the chat what people think. Kristina, do you have any thoughts?
Oh, I think ORYCTODROMEUS. I think,
interesting.
Yeah, it's, who else do we have evidence of who has burrowed into the earth, who has done their own bioturbation that we can look at tens of millions of years later? That's interior design.
I know it's not a drinking rule, but you just said bioturbation. I'm gonna drink to that.
That means living things messing stuff up.
What are you drinking, Dustin?
I am drinking the champagne of beers. This is a Miller High Life that I found in the garage. I'm a classy broad. Over 50% of the vote right now currently is for Hadrosaurus. ORYCTODROMEUS is second. ELASMOSAURUS. Well, let's end this poll. I'm ready to go. Share the results. I don't think any surprises there. I think that's a good representation. We found Hadrosaurs all over, eating lots of food, making lots of honky noises, making a duck face long before the internet. All right, so we have just assigned our Secretary of State, our Secretary of Interior. Next, and also a very important position, about to possibly be filled by a man who, Jimmy, you and I went and saw speak together a few months ago, Pete Buttigieg. So tell us about Secretary of Transportation and why Pete is filling this role.
Well, as a gay man, I have to say, this is the first openly gay member of a presidential cabinet, which is very significant. And number 2, Secretary of Transportation, obviously overseeing our roads, our highways, our bridges, our mass transit. And this man is particularly charged with effecting policy around transportation, Vision Zero, which is a big deal here in New York City and hopefully elsewhere, and also making sure that our transportation network is as green as possible going forward, and hopefully implementing a Green New Deal.
Heck yes. So we have 3 very worthy candidates. The first one I should mention before I even show you is not a dinosaur. It is a pterosaur, and it is the largest animal to ever take flight. So if you need to move around and transport yourself, riding next to or just doing the tailwinds of a QUETZALCOATLUS would probably be pretty good for transportation. This is our first candidate for, well, I guess not dinosaur Secretary of Transportation, but we do have 2 dinosaurs. Gallimimus, one of the ornithomimosaurs of the bird mimics, probably almost and arguably the fastest moving dinosaurs, some upwards of 40, 45 miles per hour, probably moving in herds. Pretty good pick, I think, for Secretary of Transportation. And last but not least, COELOPHYSIS, who, you know, we found literally hundreds of COELOPHYSIS skeletons in one mass grave. And to me, it's like, what would happen if everyone got trapped underground in the subway? That's a really bad image for New York. I don't know why I just brought that up. But also, COELOPHYSIS was the first dinosaur that we know to have had a wishbone. And people travel a lot for Thanksgiving, so that's the connection I made. These are our 3 candidates for Secretary of Transportation. Kristina, I'm asking you first. How are you going for Secretary of Transportation? QUETZALCOATLUS, Gallimimus, COELOPHYSIS.
I love QUETZALCOATLUS. I'm all about energy efficiency. The dynamics of a pterosaur taking off, that's just like the coolest physics, and it's gonna glide so far on so little fuel. I love it.
Yeah. Jimmy, what do you think?
GALLIMIMUS for sure, on the ground and fast, and I think transportation is all about people being on bikes for the future, increasingly so, and mass transit getting people to move as quickly as possible.
All right, we have about 73%, 75% of the vote. I want to get up to 80% of the vote. Right now, 69%. Oh, I couldn't even make the joke. More people have voted.
70, the moment has passed.
Moment has passed. This was our 3rd cabinet position, Dinosaur Secretary of Transportation, and it goes to a not dinosaur, QUETZALCOATLUS.
No.
Animal the size of a giraffe, which I believe is Jimmy's favorite extant animal. Giraffes, right? You love giraffes?
That is true.
Imagine a giraffe with wings, size of an F-15 fighter jet. You got QUETZALCOATLUS. All right, Jimmy, we are 2/3. Well, we've done 3 of our cabinet positions. We have 2 more, so we're going to take a slight hiatus to play, I believe, what everyone's second favorite game. Kristina, you had a point you'd like to make before we get into the game?
No, I was just reminding you, in case you forgot, it's everyone's second favorite game after Dino or Not a Dino.
It is everyone's second favorite game. Jimmy, I know you're not as familiar with these games as, are you texting? What are you doing?
I'm texting you.
Were you? Oh, yes. Thank you. Of course. Thanks, Jimmy. Jimmy, you ready to play everyone's second favorite game?
Yes.
Okay, it's got kind of a long name, so bear with me, or you can read it should you want to. It is the M draws in front of everyone while the guestpert, that's you, Jimmy, attempts to figure out what topic or guestpert-related words or phrase M is attempting to digitally render. Whiteboard challenge brought to you by Kristina. Are you ready? SPUDMAN Magazine, the most trusted source in the potato industry. Jimmy, how excited are you to be associated with a platform that is sponsored by SPUDMAN Magazine?
I did not even know that was a thing. Is that real?
This is an actual real publication. The 3rd pillar sounds dirty, and I'm here for it. I don't. Kristina, how you feeling? How you feeling right now?
So turned on.
Yeah. It's a very diverse group of people who are featured on the cover of SPUDMAN Magazine.
Well, it is the industry voice. All right. I am going to now allow, there we go. M, you now have co-host privileges. M, please bring up your whiteboard. Right now, I am sending M a private digital message, otherwise known as a text, with the clues she is going to draw here. Jimmy, you're going to have to try to figure out what she's drawing with the help of the chat. Jimmy, please just feel free to vocalize your thought process as M is drawing. M, you have been sent the first clue. You may begin drawing at any point. There are 3 rounds, Jimmy. Godspeed.
I'm guessing what this is.
You are guessing what M is drawing. Whiteboard challenge brought to you by SPUDMAN Magazine. What are your thoughts right now, Jimmy? You got this.
There's an airplane.
Okay.
and there are cars.
Okay.
It's a garage. I suppose it's an airport, but I'm not sure which one it is.
Okay.
Do I have to guess what airport it is?
You have to guess what she is drawing, Jimmy. She is drawing an airport. I think you know.
That's a plane that's crashing, so I'm not sure.
Jimmy,
all right, LaGuardia Airport. LaGuardia Airport.
It's LaGuardia Airport. All right, you have won round one, I guess. Round two, Em, I have sent you the clue for round two. Em is going to begin. Two states. Jimmy, remember these are all topic or you related.
Right.
What is happening there?
I don't know.
Okay.
Is it a baseball bat and a baseball? Yes. Mets? Something to do with the Mets?
New York Mets. That is correct.
The New
There
York
you go. I am a big Met fan. I almost wore my Mets sweater.
Jada says in the chat, Jimmy is too good, y'all.
I will take it.
All right. M has been sent round number 3. This one I think is going to be a little tougher, Jimmy. But luckily for you, the points are.
I hate the Yankees too, Haley. I hate the Yankees. Absolutely.
Yeah, Jimmy is a huge Mets stan for sure.
Yeah.
All right, Jimmy. This one's a little bit tougher. Here we go. Round 3. Ooh, interesting. Okay. Ooh. Oh boy, this is good. Well done.
That's Lady Gaga.
Yes, that is true, but we're not. But it's not just no. That's half. You've got half of the clue.
How is that half the fucking thing? I got it right.
Because there's a specific thing that we are trying to point out. With
Lady her brooch, right? It was a dove. Was it dove? A dove?
It was. What kind of dove? What color?
Oh fuck! That's so specific. A gold dove. Yeah, fucking gold dove.
She was wearing a giant golden dinosaur on her chest during the inauguration. Jimmy,
right, do I get it right?
You got it right.
All right, there you go.
Kristina, can you give him the air horn one more time?
Okay. Let's all.
Yeah.
Yes. And one more for M. Thank you so much, M.
For the record, as a gay man, I had Lady Gaga really quickly there, right? Like really good.
Fair. All right, Jimmy, we got two more. We got, well, a couple more ridiculous polls, but definitely a couple more cabinet positions. Oh, in case anyone forgot, this is what I'm talking about. Do you remember that thing? Gorgeous. Loved it. My favorite thing.
A huge dinosaur of peace to the inauguration. This is a big moment for peace dinos.
Peace dinos. Let's talk about, oh yeah, speaking of the most trusted source in the potato industry, it's time to talk about the Secretary of Agriculture, and that is a segue. Tom Vilsack. So tell us about the Secretary of Agriculture. Do they deal with more than just potatoes?
And if so, why?
Most boring appointee, yes. So agriculture, obviously going to be dealing a lot with our farmers and farm policy, and making sure that the subsidies are right, and yes, to do with farm bill and food stamps and all sorts of important policies regarding food and food production. So a little bit about the boring Tom Vilsack.
Oh, he gets the job done. Now,
that's very, very kind of you.
Yeah, well, so I will.
This is one appointment I'm less than thrilled with, but you know, we'll take it.
Well, we thought we would then, because of that, I'm giving it to a non-American. So the next 3 dinosaurs that are in the running for this position are not American dinosaurs. I know this is unprecedented, but drastic times, drastic measures. 3 non-American dinosaurs in the running for Secretary of Agriculture. First, the cassowary. Why? Well, because A, they're giant and they can take you out with one kick of that foot. But B, they're primarily frugivores, which means they are great seed dispersers. Without them dispersing seeds around, many of those plants wouldn't grow. Absolutely necessary for any agriculturally dependent area. That is candidate number 1, a cassowary. Candidate number 2, arguably the largest animal to ever walk on the face of the earth, from Argentina, the PATAGOTITAN at 140 1,000 pounds. You have to eat a lot of food every day to maintain yourself. So I think agriculture is probably going to be tip top in front of your brain. And by the way, this is Kristina with it and her best friend. It's called the Titanosaur at the American Museum of Natural History. Jimmy, you've seen this.
Yes, I have.
Yeah. And last but not least, another non-American dinosaur. But if we're going to talk about agriculture, we got to talk about someone who basically has meter-long, like wheat hook scythes on its arms, not to kill anything, maybe to defend itself, probably to harvest food. That is right. There is no saurus like there is Dinosaurus. One of the craziest looking dinosaurs of all time, an herbivore. Again, 3-foot-long claws, largest claws of any animal ever. But an herbivore, so probably use those either for defense or sweeping up food. We're not really sure. Our 3 candidates: the cassowary, the patagotitan, or the THERIZINOSAURUS. Jimmy, which way are you leaning?
I would have selected a patagotitan over Tom Vilsack and some of the other hacks that are in the current administration's cabinet.
Wow. Tell us how you really feel.
Yeah.
All right, we got a lot of votes for THERIZINOSAURUS. Kristina, I assume you're going patagotitan.
This one is tough because you have my favorite dino, the patagotitan, followed by another one of my favorites. I love a THERIZINOSAURUS, but I do have to send it to patagotitan because of its firsthand experience with just a buttload of vegetables.
Yeah, like a literal
every day. Yeah.
Every single day. I noticed someone in the chat. Oh, here, let me share the results here. THERIZINOSAURUS takes it.
No.
Reality of voice. Yeah. Look at that giant thing with feathers. I mean, one of the craziest looking dinosaurs ever. A couple of people in the chat mentioned they really like these paleo reconstructions. So in order to keep some semblance of like similarity between the styles, I picked one paleo artist, and this person's name is Cisio Purple, like CISIO Purple on DeviantArt. And I love his stuff because A, the dinos look good, and B, there's always something for scale. Sometimes it's a weird, sexy lady. I don't know why, but
love the ladies for scale.
Love the ladies for scale. All right, we are down to our last dinosaur cabinet position to a point. And this is a pretty important one because we can't have all the other ones unless we're protected from enemies, foreign and domestic. So Jimmy, can you tell us a little bit about the responsibilities of a Secretary of Defense? And I believe General Lloyd Austin is the only one of these 5 that we have seen that's been approved or like what's not.
Yes, he was confirmed.
But the others have not yet.
And is the first African-American Secretary of Defense, obviously charged with the nation's security and overseeing the Joint Chiefs of Staff and all of the armed services all over the world. So an incredibly important position, normally held by a civilian, but there was a waiver allowing this retired general to become the Secretary of Defense.
Very cool. So obviously we're going to see some pretty defense-oriented dinosaurs. So first and foremost, hailing from the American Museum of Natural History, it is STYRACOSAURUS. I had to start with this front view because it is the most metal skull ever. It's a relative of our dino of the day, Triceratops. So here it is, STYRACOSAURUS, 6 to 8 frill spikes on the top of that frill. Pretty badass, probably used for defense, maybe for intraspecies recognition, though we're not exactly sure. That is candidate number 1, STYRACOSAURUS. Candidate number 2, with 2 bowling ball sized osteoderms at the end of its tail, able to swing them to crush bone, ANKYLOSAURUS. What? Bernie, silly goose. ANKYLOSAURUS, that is our second one, obviously, well, maybe not obviously, but as far as we know, the most heavily armored, the most heavily osteoderm dinosaur of all time. And last but not least, the last candidate for Secretary of Defense, obviously, Stegosaurus. We got the plates, we got the spikes, classic Americana when it comes to dinosaurs. This is tough. This is tough. I'm not sure where I would vote. Kristina, how are you going? Stegosaurus, ANKYLOSAURUS, STYRACOSAURUS.
Oh, ANKYLO. They're covered from all angles, and I don't want to leave any open squishy parts.
That's good. That's good. Jimmy, what do you think?
I also think ANKYLO because there's strength, but there's also some flexibility and the ability to smack someone down should you have to.
Yeah. I like that. All right. The voting has commenced. Lots of early votes for Ankylosaurus. We'll see if the mail-in ballots bring Stegosaurus back up into contention. Oh, wow. Not a lot of votes for Styracosaurus. Not a lot. All right.
I'm surprised. It's kind of, I know that one made our underrated dinos episode because of the ceratopsians. It's like kind of an underdog.
Fair. It looks like Ankylosaurus is taking it. 60. That's maybe the biggest, one of the bigger landslides. 63% for Ankylosaurus.
Nice.
Yeah. All right. All right, Jimmy. We just assigned our 5 cabinet positions, but there is one more totally real, not made up at all position that Kristina and I came up with that we need to vote upon. And so let me just open this poll up. Obviously, Jimmy, we're going to need your input because this is near and dear to your heart. You're in it right now. You're in Queens. Which queen should we appoint Queen of America? Queen Abdallah, Queen Latifah, the Queen's Gambit, an actual Queen Bee, or Yas Queen? Which queen should we appoint Queen of America?
Wow. We decided after talking about all these cabinet positions, it might be better just to go back to matriarchy sort of situation. And my vote goes to Queen Latifah. No explanation needed.
In the chat, Richard was like, "Shit, that's 8 drinks." It's a lot of queens. A lot of queens.
So I don't know if I agree with all of these choices, but I am also out of this group going to say Queen Latifah because of her epic hit Ladies First, which some old school folks might remember. And also, I believe she's in the queer family on some level, some shape or form. And to have, you know, a likely queer Black woman as queen is what we are all living for.
Well, she's going to lose to Yas Queen, which I did not see coming. I didn't think anything. She's about to lose to Yas Queen unless a few of the people, there seems to be about a dozen people have not voted, and they're only a couple votes apart. So we'll see. I'm going to give it 5, 4, 3, 2. We're appointing a new Queen of America, and it is Yas Queen.
In this democratic matriarchy, Yas Queen has been elected.
Oh, that was so close.
It was very close.
Dustin, I just want to let you know that your Yas Queen is as about heteronormative as it gets in this country. It doesn't have all the flair of a...
It's not something I say often.
Yeah.
I'm not a trained actor. Like,
fair.
I don't think you are either. All right, we have assigned a lot of great positions. Speaking of positions, is it time? Is it time?
I think you have a segue. It might be time.
It might be time. Let's talk about what has been on the tip of everyone's tongue, the forefront of everyone's mind all week. That is right, the perfect and unique butthole. This was a multi-purpose hole, just FYI. If this is your first time here, you've probably not heard to us talk about, well, you haven't because it's your first time, cloacas. Kristina, could you fill us in? What is a cloaca and how do we refer to it here at Dino 101?
Oh, cloaca is nature's perfect hole. It is an entrance. It is an exit. If you need to pee, poop, reproduce, this is the hole for you. And we call it one hole to rule them all.
One hole to rule them all. Jimmy, this is a pretty cool, important finding, and I learned 3 things from this fossil and from the literature surrounding it. 1, I did not know that cloaca is Latin for sewer, which is just rude, first of all. 2nd, I learned that, see the dark area on the bottom picture says right lateral lip and left lateral lip? We actually know it was darkened around the cloaca here, whereas the rest was kind of lightly counter shaded on the bottom. So you know that cloaca, it really popped. It just really popped. It advertised itself. And unfortunately, we were not able to tell if it was a horizontally oriented cloaca like birds have, or a vertically oriented one like crocodiles and alligators do. Womp womp. More information is necessary, but we do have one more poll because of course we do. Ladies,
can I just make an important point here, though? And I think this is really important.
Please.
Because Kristina said that this whole situation is about pee, poop, and reproduce. On behalf of gay men everywhere, I just want to say there is a 4th option.
Good point. Very good point.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. Speaking of options.
And women, yes.
Queens.
Let's be real.
Queens. Thank you. Jimmy, so instead of perfect and unique,
Sasha is very active in the chat. I love it.
Yes, my sister is very active in the chat.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, by the way, speaking of my sister, and seeing as this right here, I found this in a basement, in a closet in the basement of my parents' house. It's a bunch of mini DV tapes. And one of them, there are notes on them, like written on the front as to what they are. And the bottom of this one, there's 4 things like Christmas party, sledding, birthday. Last one is Sasha illegally soliciting alcohol. So we'll see once I get these converted what that means and if my sister is going to jail. But right now, speaking of perfect and unique siblings, instead of perfect and unique, Jimmy and everyone else in the room, with which 2-word combination would you describe your ideal butthole? Would it be unsurpassed and incomparable, faultless and unrivaled, impeccable and unparalleled, exemplary and distinctive, or balloon and not? Please vote now.
This is ripped from the headlines. The news broke, and I knew I had made it when several people sent me this article. I called my mom, and it described this fossilized cloaca as perfect and unique.
Perfect and unique.
Yeah.
Dustin, several people are referencing Queer Dino 101 tonight, and I just want to say I am honored to be a part of Queer Dino 101.
You're not even an honorary member of the Dick Necks now. You are a member of the Dick Necks. You're a returning champion. You're my friend. Everyone loves you. You're a Dick Neck. You're here. If you're everyone in the room here, you guys are all Dick Necks now. I love it. All right, I'm gonna end this poll. It looks as though, wow. Oh, we have a tie for first place. I'm not gonna end the poll. I'm gonna let at least one more vote come in.
I haven't voted. I haven't voted. I can't vote.
I'm not talking about you. I know you can't vote.
I have.
But
voting for any side here?
I have thoughts.
Yeah, you can sway the vote.
One more vote could determine it. Right now, it's a tie. All right, there we go. We have determined a winner. Very close. Impeccable and unparalleled.
I would have gone exemplary and distinctive.
Yeah, very close.
Because that makes me think like the holotype butthole, the one that's in a museum that all other buttholes are compared to. It's exemplary.
Yeah.
It's almost like
I'm feeling all of these options.
They're good. All right, you guys, it's 9:50. We're surprisingly relatively on schedule. We'll go a couple minutes over per usual. But the next couple of things we need to do are a Q&A, because I know there's a lot of questions for you in the chat, Jimmy. I have some questions about, well, politics and Queens in general. And then we're going to do our gallery of Triceratops in DC. So, Kristina, do you have any queries for the good city councilman?
I had one a little while back about, you're talking about an American dino or a non-American dino. And so I clarified an American dino just means one that was found in what is now the United States.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, exactly.
Versus one that is found somewhere not in what is currently the United States. Yes, while the dinos were alive, the continents were arranged totally differently. There were no humans around to draw borders. There was no passport control for dinos migrating. It's just where their fossils were found.
Open borders. Cool.
Pangea, literally, you can't even be bordered by ocean most places where you were.
Is that a question?
It was a question that I got earlier that I thought other people might want the answer to. Jimmy, we have several people in the chat wondering if you would like to be best friends.
I am all about being everyone's best friend, and I am ready. I'm here for that. And yeah, especially if you know anyone who lives in the borough of Queens and who can vote in the borough of Queens, I'm there.
Kristina, can we drop that link again?
Yeah, got you.
So I want to mention that something I learned through Jimmy recently is that if you live in the 5 boroughs of New York City and you donate to a political candidate that could be your representative, the city matches those funds ×8. It's a way to give some power back to individual donors on small scale rather than most of the money being from big corporations. So for instance, I live in Sunnyside. I live literally 5 blocks from Jimmy. If I gave him $10, if I gave his campaign $10, that's matched again ×8 by the city. So that's $80. So tell your New York City and Queens friends, support Jimmy on social media, because Jimmy is not just a very good friend of mine, but an incredibly fierce advocate for the arts, for museums, and for progressive values. And he gives me hope for governance and our country and the city in the future. Because if it's people like Jimmy that are in power, I think we're going to be all right.
Yes, if you haven't already figured it out, I am not your traditional politician elected official, just by the very fact that we've engaged in this discussion tonight.
Yeah. How many other politicians talk about perfect and unique buttholes so openly and brazenly? I love it.
I actually didn't get a chance to weigh in on that question, and I find that somewhat offensive, but yeah, I think that.
Kristina, what other questions do we have for Jimmy?
We heard your reasoning about why you like the Triceratops. Is that your favorite dinosaur? If no, what is your favorite dinosaur?
No, my favorite dinosaur, as Dustin knows, is the T-Rex because of its great power and ferociousness. And as a queer boy who wasn't sure that I had any power when I was gay and closeted and invisible, I always sort of embraced that power within that maybe one day I would find.
Nice.
That's a beautiful thing. I remember you mentioned something similar when we saw you on Dino 101 last time, and I've never had my heart smile about a T-Rex that way. That's wonderful. Sasha needs to know, what are some policies you plan to enact?
So as Dustin knows, I am all about cats, number one, but look, we have to have the arts in education for every child in New York City, in Queens, and this country. When the arts are part of a child's education, we know the outcomes are better. I am absolutely for protecting the rights of all immigrants, including the undocumented immigrants. You'd mentioned that proposition before. Every single person has a right to be here and a right to call this place home. All of us are from somewhere else, and Queens is the most diverse county in this country. And, you know, we're gonna fight to take power away from the traditional establishment political machines and put it back in the hands of real people, tax billionaires and millionaires the way they should be taxed, and actually take that money and put it into hands of poor people. The fact that we have poverty in this country and we accept that as a reality of the world that we live in is morally wrong and bankrupt. If we just it up to the big corporations and said Jeff Bezos being worth $300 million while millions of people have nothing, not enough food to eat, is absolutely outrageous, then we would actually fight for a better world. And that's what I am all about.
We have a lot of people in the chat planning to move to Queens, it looks like.
Yes.
And a shout out to a fellow teacher in the chat. And shout out to all the educators in the building. Yes. A lot of people saying we wish we could vote for you, wish we could live in your borough. And Dustin, a vote to replace you with Harry.
That's fair. I get that. I get that.
I am out of questions, so send me more if you have questions for Jimmy, if you have questions for Dustin.
I have a question for Jimmy, because both Kristina and I and a bunch of the people in this room are huge museum stands. I want you to go out on a limb, Jimmy, and tell us what your favorite museum in the borough of Queens is. I think Queens is underrated when it comes to museums. Got PS1, we got the Museum of the Moving Image, we have the Queens Museum, we have the Hall of Science, some great museums. Jimmy, pick a side. What's your favorite museum in Queens?
That's almost impossible to answer, but I will say the Queens Museum was the first museum that I ever went to as a child, growing up in a poor working class family that didn't have access to the arts. And I went on a school trip to the Queens Museum, fell in love with culture and the arts. And it is in the heart of Flushing Meadows, Corona Park. Immigrant communities, that museum embraces the immigrant communities that surround it. And during COVID has actually turned the museum into a food pantry and daycare facility. So because it's got great art, great culture, but also celebrates who we are as a borough. I would also say Noguchi is a rare gem that not enough people know about and not enough people find, but Noguchi is amazing. I just saw someone say the Hall of Science in the chat, which is great. I love them all, and people underestimate Queens all the time, and I mean the borough, and I mean queer people.
Jimmy, another question, a very important question from the chat. Speaking of favorites, this comes from Dweeb. We need to know who your favorites right now in Drag Race.
Oh, Tina Burner is, I think, a New York queen who is absolutely fantastically talented, and I think represents what I like in drag, which is not, you know, a mannequin or like the prettiest drag, but someone who actually has the ability to turn out performances, act, sing, dance, lip sync, make everyone laugh and think. I think Tina Burner right now is among my favorite, but that's just me. Yeah. Candy's also good, but like very, very Bronx, you know, Nuyorican, kind of like that. I don't know if anyone knows what I'm talking about, but
there's a few
if anyone's watching Drag Race.
Yeah.
I have a possibly very divisive question
Uh-oh.
for our political climate. What is the best neighborhood in Queens? From the chat.
You know, I can't actually answer that question. I will just say, you know, I was born and raised in Astoria, Queens, and my mom still lives in Astoria, Queens, and it is, you know, a place where everyone can find a place, including artists and actors, musicians, queer people. When I was growing up as a little kid, there was a trans Latina woman who was living in Astoria as an out trans woman in the 1970s. It was not easy for her, but it is a great neighborhood in Queens.
It's the first neighborhood I ever lived in, Queens. First place I lived in New York City was Queens, with my sister, who's probably still in the chat, my friend Justin.
Corona is a great neighborhood. My mother grew up in Corona. We love Corona.
Hall of Sciences.
Just, your mom went to Queens College?
My mom went to Queens College. Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah. There's a very cute and funny picture of my mom. It's on the wall in the bathroom. That sounds bad, but like we have a bunch of pictures of the family on the wall, and it's like, remember, Kristina, when we were in like elementary, middle school, and it was school picture day, and you could have like, you could choose the color of your background, maybe paper, right?
Sometimes there were props.
It's a black and white picture of her sitting in the dirt. It's just like, you sit there in the dirt, and we'll take a picture down onto you for your school picture. It's so funny to me. It's so funny. Anyway, all right. It is time for our gallery. Jimmy, you ready for some great politically related, or at least DC related Triceratops?
Yes.
Do you think there are more Triceratops or more Tricerabottoms in DC?
There are always more Tricerabottoms, and that is a good thing. There's no bottom shaming going on in this room.
Absolutely not. Let's hold up. So you guys, okay, we're gonna start with our resident graphic.
And you didn't, someone just mentioned Tricera switches. I would call it Triceraverse, but like we're all about everyone living their true selves.
Fair. Kristina, did you want to add something there? No? Okay. I don't know. I thought you were about to say something. Okay, cool. M, look at this. Oh, I like it. It's like a banana guy. I don't know why I think it's a banana. It's just the same color. I don't know.
That's a happy boy.
Happy boy. Happy boy. Please keep holding up your images. Ooh, we go from yellow. Oh, wait. Hold on. Hold on.
We're all holding on, Dustin.
Oh, my God. There we go. Haley's.
In DC.
Oh, I get it. See what you did there? That's a dad joke, but my beer's gone at this point. So
this looks like a postcard from DC that I want.
We're going to David here. Wow, this looks like something. Oh my God, I see what this is.
Oh, Holy Toledo. Just walking off with just carrying a podium is the verb we use when it's a Triceratops.
That is true. That is the technical scientific term. Let's go to T here. Oh, wow. Okay, this looks great. I like the coloration on the frill there. And they're at the Smithsonian.
Oh,
Jimmy, have you been to the Natural History Museum in DC?
Yes.
By Triceratops. By Triceratops.
I love it.
I love the architecture details too.
Ben's Chili Bowl. Is that might be a DC establishment I'm not familiar with, I assume? Yes, maybe. Okay.
A local reference? M says yes, it is.
Noah, this seems like it walked out of South Park. It just feels very South Parkian to me.
I think it's the big eye.
Yeah, you can't see back there. I like that.
Is on the cloaca or what?
Good for that. Michael Bahara. We got Trike on the Metro.
Oh.
Metro I like Metroceratops. That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
We got Bernie. All right, we're going to Ryan, who has in the past won the best paleo art rendering of the week. Each Monday or Tuesday, we send out an email saying, hey, thanks for coming. Here's what's happening on Friday. And we honor one of you with the best art. Ryan's are always great. This is beautiful.
That is beautiful.
Talk about counter shading.
As are the nails, by the way.
Oh yeah, those are some good nails. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
Talk about noticing details. Very important.
We're going to Carol here. I like the coloration. Oh, a tie. Okay, I think that's the that's either a giant joint. Is that like a Black and Mild, or is that the Washington Monument? What's happening here?
It's a, yeah, we have a monument in the distance.
Okay.
And there's, is this Bernie down here for scale?
Yeah, raise that up a little bit. I want to see the drawing of Bernie. Can you lift? Oh,
nice.
So you apparently, Carol, what happened to you is what happens to me whenever I try to draw a dinosaur, is that I scale it horribly inappropriately and it never fits on the page. So I'm with you on that. Jada, I've said it 1,000 times. I'll say it again. If you don't follow Sophistication on all the platforms, you're using the internet wrong. Jada will be a guest spurt talking all about sharks in a couple weeks. I'm very excited for that. Jada, I like that the energy coming out of your Triceratops mouth is very similar to just your energy. Just like, ah! I can't read the top. Kristina, can you read the top?
Defense against pointless insurrection.
Yes.
Ooh, we haven't seen a Triceratops in clothing until now. Oh, hell yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
I know.
Oh my God, I love, you know what I also love? Allie Ward made this joke on Twitter, also returning champion, how they repurposed Donald Trump's toilet, the tubing for it, for the microphone, for Gaga. Right?
Beautiful gold toilet.
The golden, all right, never mind.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. Shout out to Pitt. We're going to Richard. Wow.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I'm loving the variations on the Lincoln Memorial we have.
I like to play on the. So this is a good point. A moment to recognize that when you see two names like Tyrannosaurus Rex, like Triceratops horridus, that's the genus and the species. So our friend here has put a play on words for the full name, which is normally horridus. Well done. That is nerdy as fuck. Rachel.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, the crossed chicken feet for me. Oh,
it is the feet. I like the knee. Those are some sexy dino legs. I like that you inverted them and you put the trike on the shoulder. That's just so good. That's just so good. Oh, Britt, I like this. We have not had a Supreme Court Justice Ops, RBG Ceratops.
Oh.
With her dissent collar and everything.
Listen, I'm going to say it. She looks a little like E.T. here. A little bit like E.T. Is that, I don't know, no disrespect. I'm just going to show Megan's here for a hot second. Megan, there's a lot happening here. This is well done. I like this. I like it.
Oh, in the Oval Office.
Yo, I don't know why there's not more fossils on display.
That's true.
In the Oval Office.
Maybe that was one of the executive orders.
I like that you made this and then printed it out to hold up to the camera. That is a level of commitment to this stupid game that I'm here for. Random dude for scale.
Random dude.
I like that it's Bernie and his friend, the random dude. Thank you for labeling Triceratops. We would have never known. Vanessa, oh, this is another.
Oh, I love that. Yes.
It's going to be so hard choosing a favorite this week. These are so good. Also, a reminder, please tag myself, Kristina, Jimmy, Atlas Obscura. Upload these on Twitter and Instagram. I will reshare them because they are beautiful and they all belong in a museum. We're going to Sarah, Triceratops. Oh, it's a love letter.
Oh.
With love.
That's some intra-species and intra-architecture humping. I'm here for
Well,
it.
oh, I thought it was much more wholesome.
You don't think it's grinding up on that hard? Are you kidding me?
Yes, I am all about that. That's what I'm getting from that too. Not just a love letter. It's not just a love letter.
Some of us have our minds in the gutter. This really looks like Bernie Sanders. This Triceratops.
How'd you pull that off? It's really well done.
I wrote a Star-Spangled Riff.
All right, we're going to JoJo. Oh, on the flat. Oh, I like this. If we're gonna make it the well, I guess we elected. Wait, who got Secretary of State? Brontosaurus.
Mm-hmm.
Triceratops isn't having it though. I like this on the flag. We got a couple more. We're going to Stephanie here. Stephanie has made a scrapbook because this is our first, I believe, masked Triceratops.
Picture by me. Oh, sweet. Stephanie took this picture and then added a Bernie Ceratops for scale.
Look, it's August.
Goose. Bernie for scale. There he is under the tail with a post-it note masterpiece as usual.
Jimmy, do you remember this post-it note wall from when you were a guestpert way back in the early days?
I do. Of course I do.
Yeah. Beautiful work. Beautiful work. We have, I believe, just a couple more. Nice. This is pretty. I like this.
Washington was awesome.
It was awesome.
This has like a kid coming home from the big DC trip. Like, Washington was awesome.
Thanks, Mom.
Stayed up past 1 a.m.
All right, Melissa. I like the different color scheme here. We've combined Bernie's gloves with a lot of other elements. I'm here for that. I like that. I think that might be our last one. Ladies and gentlemen, are there any other drawings we have not hit? I don't think so. Wow, that was a really, Kristina, it's going to be very hard for us to choose our favorite this week.
Really is. They're like our children.
They do. All right, Kristina. Actually, I'm going to go to Jimmy first. Jimmy, first of all, thank you so much for joining us. Again, can we drop the link to Jimmy's website in the chat?
I'll drop the link to everything.
Get involved however you can, because I'm not just blowing smoke when I say Jimmy is the type of person you want to make real progressive change in this country, and is a fierce advocate, like I've mentioned so many times, for museums. And I think that's incredibly important, and they're definitely going to need our help coming out of this pandemic. Jimmy, thank you for being here. I can't wait to come back to Sunnyside so we can go have tacos at the Alcove.
I can't wait. We had the Alcove last night. Thank you so much for having me. And I really appreciate the fact that your sister and your mother are in the chat. That's kind of cool. And I love the work that you do. And I really enjoy this show. So thank you for having me. And anytime you have me, you have Queer Dino 101. And I am very proud to represent.
Jimmy, I love you. And I just realized I have one more question. Are you still finding tiny toy dinosaurs hidden throughout your house?
I am not. I think I've cleared them all out, but you are very creative in going through my house, so there may still be some. I
have hidden dozens of tiny 2-inch vinyl plastic toy dinosaurs throughout Jimmy's abodes in multiple different buildings. You know, that's just a gift that keeps on giving to you. Again, Jimmy, thank you so much for being here. Kristina, do you have any last words for our auger, which is drill related episode tonight?
Thanks, Jimmy, for being here. Man, we're all just full of sunshine now. Thank you for that. I hope after this week, everyone is enjoying some sleep and maybe some hope. And this has not been a drill.
It's not been a drill, but if it were a drill, which type of drill would this not? Never mind. All right, guys, it is 10:11. Last couple orders of business. So first of all, next week, we have the one, the only Rebecca Hunt Foster at Paleo Chick, who's going to talk to us about the Bone Wars, but more importantly, to decide who wins Spudman of the Year between Osimo. I can't even get that. If you don't know about the Bone Wars, basically these two had a crazy rivalry.
Magazine.
What?
It's a real magazine, you guys.
It's a real magazine. They had a crazy beef. You got to mix your beef with your potatoes. It makes sense. End of the year. We're going to talk all about the Bone Wars, which is a crazy bonkers time in paleontological history where these two arch rival scientists, found, I think it was like over 200 new dinosaurs over the course of a decade, but hated each other, blew up each other's dig sites, wrote horrible papers and published them about each other. And Rebecca Hunt Foster, who is just a delight. She works at the Dinosaur National Monument. She is the paleontologist at Dinosaur National Monument. So we're going to see some cool pictures of that place. As well as talk about the Bone Wars. That is next Friday on Dino 101. If you can't wait till next Friday, per usual, there is a not sanctioned by Atlas Obscura after party that will start in about 5 minutes. If you've been there before, the Dino 101 after party, the link is the same. If you want the link and you've not been there, slide into my DMs on either Twitter or Instagram. I will send you the link. We'll hang out there for a little bit, have some more drinks. I don't know if Jimmy can hang out or not. Jimmy, can you come to the after party for a little bit?
I can.
Hell yeah. All right. That is great news. We'll see you guys in the after party. Slide into the DMs for that. Kristina, thank you once again. Jimmy, I love you. Thanks again. If you're related to me in the chat, I'm supposed to say I love you, Mom. I love you, Sasha. You guys, I don't care. For now, if you're asking questions, searching for dinosaurs, or Jimmy, guess what? Getting scoops at the Lemon Ice King of Corona.
Nice, nice.
Never stop digging. I'll see you guys next week at Friday Dino 101 or in the after party in 5 minutes. Peace out. I love you all. Bye.
After party is optional and not related to Atlas Obscura. Join us if you want to. I hope you do. Bye.
It's perfect and unique, though.
Just like you.
We do